Let's go. All right, so here's our agenda. You guys know normally I don't really kind of read this, but I'll just sit it here so you can kind of see what we're going to go over today. But what you should focus on is look down below. We have a testimonial. We get these, and it reads as follows. Blitz has become my first call for E&S business. That's not second or third. The first call? What? Yes. The platform is fast. The appetite is clear. And I know I'm not going to get stuck in the process that kind of real liability changes. I'm looking at this small word. Sorry, you guys, how you write business. Okay. That's David Matthews, G&H Insurance. Check that out. Testimonial. We take testimonials. So if you want to email Angel, Landon, or Chris a little testimonial blurb, we might use you next time and you can be famous. So this is the agenda that we're going down today. Now, this webinar today, you guys, is over our new cat update, and we're updating our cat per product. So today we're talking to you guys about lessor's risk because that's the first product that's going to get the cat update. Now, some of you may have joined this webinar and thought, oh my God, Angel's going to talk about cats like a cat, like meow. No, that's not right. Or you may have thought I was going to talk about the Andrew Lloyd Webber amazing stage play Cats, right? Taylor Swift, I love Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was a cat. It was very weird. But maybe you thought we were going to talk about that. Ugh. This is not about either of those, but it does not matter why you joined. All that matters is that you're here. So if you joined thinking it was for something else, but you're still here, you're ahead of the game. So let's get started on Catastrophe Cat webinar. So, you know, my last webinar, I told you guys that sometimes people do join these webinars. They don't know a ton about Blitz. They are familiar with us, but maybe they didn't know as much as some of you do on here. So I kind of like to do a little bit of a spill to kind of give you a little bit of background, a little bit of who's Blitz, what's Blitz, so you kind of know. If you already know, it's always good to hear these things repetitively because they stick in your brain. The next webinar, I can maybe take you guys off mute or make you a host. And then you can do this part for me because you would have heard this content more than once. So what is Blitz? Blitz is pretty much, I call it the future of commercial specialty E&S placement. We offer an innovative solution for sending in E&S business. That's kind of like the blurb to kind of get you to know Blitz. We're focused on fast, efficient service without sacrificing customer service and quality. That's huge in the industry. You want a carrier that's going to be there for the life cycle of the policy, not just in the beginning, right? Because you need to quote it, you need to bind it, but they're there for the life cycle of the policy, and that's what we're doing here at Blitz. So as you guys know, time is of the essence in our industry. Tick, tick, tick. I always think of that. What is that white rabbit? I'm not a Disney princess person, but I know it's a white rabbit, and there's Snow White or a Sleeping Beauty or something associated with it. He's like, time, time, time. And he's running around crazy. That's how it is in insurance. Time is of the essence, fast quotes, efficient, great customer service. And that's pretty much Blitz in a nutshell. I always like to say, just because an account has a little bit of hair on it, little bit of hair, doesn't mean it should take weeks to get a quote, weeks to hear back, get an update from an underwriter, all those things that you can have happen to you in the E&S world. This is simply unacceptable. And our amazing founder thought the same thing, which is how I'm here. This is why we're here. This is why Blitz is a company. So our portfolio, I'm not going to go deep dive into products because I do webinars on each of these products, which I think I'm doing retailing services coming up. Stay tuned. But of course, we write cannabis. You guys know that. We started with cannabis in 2021. So we write cannabis, I call it seed to sale, kind of seed in the ground, all the way till it's ready to be purchased at a smoke shop. We also write cannabis lessor's risk, which is meaning they have a location, like if it's a strip mall, they have a tenant that sells THC, cannabis, any of those things, and they're a tenant. So it's, tenant based because it's lessor's risk. We write contractors. I did a webinar on it. The replay is available on LinkedIn. So contractors is our #1 performing product. It is general and artisan, over 80 class codes. Amazing product. It's got all the bells and whistles that a contractor needs. So if you're going to go ahead and start quoting something, as I name these, go ahead and go in there. That's acceptable. If you're going to go into the portal and go ahead and do a quote while I'm talking, I'm okay with that because you can ask me questions while you're on here. But anything else, let's focus. So we also write vacant commercial buildings. It's one of our new products, and it's self-explanatory. It's vacant commercial building and the land. Another new product, auto services. Auto services is anything related to a car, Close your eyes, picture the best car, your favorite car that you want to own or that you own. We write all the things that refer to that car, except for dealerships, new or used. Auto services is also one of our products that has some additional coverages because we are primarily a package policy. We write commercial property and GL. As you guys know, GL can be written monoline. Our TIV goes up to 5 million per location, and our GL goes up to 30,000 square feet. But auto services has a couple additional products. It has garage keepers because we write auto body mechanic shop, and we have some limited non-owned hired auto. I think I'm saying that right. And next up, we write builder's risk, which can be ground up. It can be additions, all those things, remodels, builder's risk. And we compared that with the GL, which is amazing because a lot of carriers do not do that. Highlight for Blitz. Retail services, it's kind of like stores, mom and pop shops, or services, barbershops, beauty salons, tattoo artists, things like that. We have over 140 class codes on that one as well. Then we write special events, which includes setup, tear down, all those things. And we write, did I get everything out of services? Yeah, I got everything. Also, we're the carrier. So you guys know how with the MGU, MGA, you send in an accord or a random application and it spits out all of these carriers, all of these quotes. And you're like, whoa, who's this from? Because sometimes I have people reach out to me and say, you got other carriers? Where's it from? Anything you get from Blitz, it's from us. It's Blitz. So we don't have where we're using other carriers or anything like that. It's all us. So you don't have to worry about that. So our GL that I said can be written monoline, I don't think I mentioned it. We're 1-2 limits, just to throw that out there. We are non-admitted E&S only. Don't write any admitted. We want to complement your admitted markets, not compete against them. We can write accounts with losses, lapse in coverage, new ventures, all the things. And just to give you a little idea, a little background. So right now, I would say we write in the 40 percentile range of class codes that are considered non-admitted, meaning they don't go into the admitted market at all. They're our wheelhouse. We want to get to that 80 percentile range. I'm just telling you guys that to set you guys up for the awesomeness of Blitz. We're going to be growing, I would say 2 years. Just see where we are. We're going to be a carrier where you sit there and say, oh gosh, it's not admitted. You're not like a deer in headlights anymore. Maybe you were, because you say, Blitz can do it. Blitz will write that. And you always have a carrier. So even if admitted decides one random Monday to get out of a line of coverage, what can happen? You know that happens. You don't have to second guess where you're going to shop it. You come over to Blitz because we'll write it. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. So we write in all states except Louisiana, Idaho, and Hawaii. If you've been in insurance 10 seconds, you know why we don't write in Louisiana. My family's actually from there, so I have even more details. And so next up is our amazing digital platform. It's the highlight. So what sets Blitz apart? You know, what makes Blitz different? It's definitely going to be one of the things. One of the things is going to be our amazing digital platform, which a bunch of you have already been on. So I'll just say this. With Blitz, I like to say, you're the pilot of that plane with Blitz. TSA on strike, not getting paychecks. You don't have to worry about that. Long lines, they lost your luggage. You don't have to worry about any of that. Delayed flights, all the headaches, all the headaches. You don't have to worry because guess what? You're the pilot. We give you the license. That's your user ID. The user ID is the license. Follow me. Just stay with me, guys. The plane is the amazing portal. You're cruising. You're driving. You're just driving. No bad weather. No delays. You know why? Because in our portal, everything's customizable. Coverages, limits, deductibles. You can add a coverage, delete a coverage, add a deductible, delete a deductible. You're not playing underwriting phone tag game. Ring, ring, Angel. Ring, ring, Angel. Where is Angel? Getting an Amazon package. We don't know where she is. Time is of the essence. Remember that white rabbit. We want to be quick. We want to be efficient. We want to be fast. So remember that. With Blitz in our portal, you're in the driver's seat. You're in the plane. Is that driver's seat? I guess it kind of is. Like, you're driving that plane. You pick your destination. You know how long it's going to take you to get there. You can take a detour. You can take a shortcut. You're in control in our amazing portal. So keep that in mind. So how do you guys think we're able to go from submit to a quote to a bind in under 10 minutes? Is it unheard of in the E&S world? Yes, it is. 80% of the time, it's going to go straight through to a bindable quote, as you guys know. If it does not go through to a bindable quote, the next thing you're going to get is refer to underwriter. There's an hourglass. I think it might spin. Hourglass. Still got a 24-hour turnaround. Tick, tick, tick. White rabbit. That clock. Still fast, efficient. You need it sooner than that, you could always reach out to us. So remember, 80% of the time, you're not going to have to do that. You got a price sensitive client, it's still too high. You go in there, change the deductible, change the coverage. You do that. You're in control with our amazing digital portal. Next up, another highlight, service. Now, I know you guys have joined me from my other webinars and you liked my little term. Speed meets service. It's service. I knew somebody remembered that. But unfortunately, I am kind of getting away from service, you guys. I'm sorry. I know you like it. It's kind of been my little tagline and everything. Now, we still have an amazing, amazing service team, you guys, that you can call. You can also email them. I call them the Avengers of insurance. That's how awesome they are. And if you don't know the Avengers, that's sad. You should Google that and watch one of the movies this weekend. But anywho, here at Blitz, service is important to us. We do not sacrifice quality for quantity. So yeah, we're blasting out quotes and they're coming in under 10 minutes and that's great. But it's still a great quality product, which is very important. But you have a business production underwriter assigned to your agency. Some of you on here probably know who that is. You have moi doing training, right? And you have service. We load you up so that all that background noise, we take all that off your plate. You can focus on your agency. You can focus on writing successful business with Blitz. And you can focus on personal time. Maybe you want to, it's summer coming. You might want to go for a walk with your dog. And you don't have to worry about getting a person here, Blitz. We're people. Angel's a real person. I'm not a robot. I'm not AI. I'm real. And AI is great. I'm not knocking AI. It's great until the day you try to go to work and AI says, Angel, you're not leaving today and locks that door. Yeah, I watched the Stephen King movie. But anyway, it happened in real life, right? It seems great until technology takes over, right? And we merge technology, not to the point where we take the variable out of a human being. We're here for you with service. Now, remember earlier, I said I was getting away from service and you got concerned, wondering why. The reason is, I believe the thing about Blitz is not service. I think service is one variable of it, but I think it's innovation, right? We're innovative, you guys. And some of the variables of being innovative are solving pain points. A pain point like perhaps sending in an accord to get for a quote and waiting, and you don't know, it takes for a long time. But why was it like that before? Because that's just the way things were. Combining technology is another way that you can look at an innovative company. We combine our amazing portal with third-party data to get you those quotes in 10 minutes. Who did it? Blitz did it, right? Accessibility. We make it easy and accessible for you to go into the portal. I mean, our toggle buttons are like yes or no. It's a toggle. I don't see it being easier than that. Our portal is so easy. People don't even usually ask me for training on it. So I kind of got away from service because my thought process was we do have service, but it's because of the innovation that brings the service and then brings everything that we have in our portal. So I kind of changed it up a little bit. So I changed it to innovation meets execution. Innocution. I just thought of that yesterday. That's our new word for the day. Blitz is innovative, but we execute innocution. That's my new word. We can keep service. Don't get mad. We can keep service, but we're going to focus now because it's the innovation that brings the service. And that's really all I got from my little part. And now, let's clap. Everybody clap. Introducing. I should have wrote a little introduction for this. But the man of the hour that has graciously joined us today to get you guys all the things that you need to know about cat property is Landon Reed. Landon, take it away.
I will. It's a tough follow, Angel, but I appreciate the intro and appreciate the warm up there. So, again, just where we started is appreciate everybody's time investment. I think it's good to go back before we go forward, just so we can help frame up around what Blitz is doing going forward on products. So when we started, and a little bit of this would be repetitive to what Angel said, but I think additional insights there. So when we started in 21 building the technology, the first policy was sold in 22. And it was the thesis in that the first part of the phase of our entity was kind of proving out the concept of can innovation deliver us differentiation. And from that standpoint, we were kind of grounded on three things. One was if we focus in on the producer or broker experience as a structural advantage, does that resonate and is it meaningful? And it's not just the experience in a portal, it's the totality of the experience. Angel alluded to the fact of a hit on service, which is we think of the full life cycle for the producer broker experience. So yes, the portal is fantastic, but it's where do we inject the human in the loop for the decision making to support the straight through rates? Where do we support the service? What are the things that we need to think through for your workflows? So that was premise number one. Premise number two was technology. Can technology successfully unlock specialty lines and have it have the same look and feel of functionality that is commonplace with some of the admitted markets, where there's dynamic ability to flex coverage, terms and conditions, but still be responsive to more challenging risks. And then the third thing that we were focused in on the first phase was, can we actually think through how do we align with how different distribution partners like to participate and support their customers in the ways they do business? And we have a significant amount of versatility within our technology, and we can deliver our experience embedded. We can deliver it through a portal. We connect it through APIs. We have SSO integrations across the board. So we think through how we work, of what we think through and prioritize our partners' workflows above our own. So those three in that initial phase were things that we did, that we all validated, that they are differentiators that we can help elevate the brand. The second part was, once we've got that core elements and confidence, was expanding into the new product sets. And Angel, I won't repeat the products that we're currently in. Angel went through those. And it was introducing those across our distribution channels. And the intent with all of our products, and you're going to see this today when I talk about our CAT enhancement, is it's a very methodical, some would say conservative, but very purposeful approach. As we go through our products, our goal is yes, it's to grow, but it's to grow profitably and responsibly. So we're here for your customers in the long term, and we're creating stability for you guys as we go through for your companies and also for your downstream customers. And that is really where we are today. And kind of we have good product stabilization across the board. We are looking at our products, and the next phase for us is continuing on the aggressive addition of new products as continuity. But the second part of that is, how do we enhance and strengthen and broaden our current product sets to be more relevant and of more value to you? And that's where the CAT enhancement comes in. So what is coming, and what I will is, and you'll see this on the lower left of the screen as you're looking at, is we have the CAT property enhancement, but we're also going through CAT, our contractors excess liability policy that'll be delivered in July of this year. That's a following form excess policy over the Blitz underlying primary. We are introducing restaurants with liquor liability at the end of Q2. We can be happy to take questions on this after in the Q&A session. We'll be strengthening our commercial lessors risk product by adding in a mixed use element to it. So we'll be taking on the initial phase of our habitational entry. And then something that we're also excited about, which is going into personal lines. And the first entry into personal lines for us coming in mid to late Q3 will be in our emerging high value homeowner space. So we're going to continue to add the new products, but also layer in the components to strengthen our current product sets. So with that, Angel, if we could move forward and talk a little bit about what we're doing right now. So what is the Blitz CAT property enhancement? It is, I want to distinguish it between Blitz is not becoming a CAT solution entrant to be a robust monoline CAT property player. For us, it's about how do we take and make ourselves more relevant to more of your customers where we haven't been. And so what the CAT property enhancement does is it's going product by product and removing some of the conservative, thoughtful approach that we had as we built our book of business to get us into the right places. So what you're going to see and what it addresses is really two different variables, is the wind hail exclusion that we have on our policies. and then as one, and two is removing the name stormed exclusion. There is a phasing to what we're doing that we'll hit on, but those are the two things it's really doing is addressing those two restrictions that we had that was causing us the inability to serve more of you and more of your clients. The thing how we're thinking about cat as we describe this discussion is really wind, hail, and then severe convective storm. What's really what will be in our next wave of work will be wildfire. So as we go through this, we're going to be thoughtful around going through, making sure that we've got our terms and conditions are responsible, the rates are reflective of what we need to be competitive in market, and then we'll layer in additional growth. The fantastic part of all of what we're sharing is it's all system supported. So when you actually get a quote on the going forward and actually is in market for commercial lesser risk today is the system's doing the work and delivering the most favorable terms and conditions to you on the glass. And we'll show you an example of that. The goal here is not for you to have to memorize all of our idiosyncrasies of what is Blitz's cat position, but rather rely on the marketplace. That being said, there are some consistencies with what you would expect. So distance from coast and the state are two drivers from how we think about our cat position. We do score individual locations, and there is a risk scoring component to it. So there is variability even within distance. So it's not a hard fixed distance to coast metric that we use. And there are two items here that you're going to see on an upcoming slide, which is we are introducing this into Texas and Florida. Texas has some limitations within the Gulf Coast of Texas, and then Florida will be in the next phase of this. But those are all the things that I'm mentioning here around how we're repositioning our terms and conditions. We'll go into those two states as a fast follow after this initial wave. On the right-hand side of the screen, excuse me, you can see how the products will roll out. So commercial less risk is in market right now. Our builder's risk product will have the cat enhancement in the next 2 weeks. And subsequently in the next basically 2 to 3 weeks after that, you're going to see cannabis, retail services, and our restaurants program, which is coming online in June, all be introduced with the cat enhanced product. So Angel, let's go ahead and move to the next screen if you don't mind.
Yep.
So where is it going to benefit? And we wanted to show that these are the states that there is benefit in other states, but this is where we are, as we looked at the data from what all of you have sent into us, where we would want to be more responsive with either better terms and conditions or actually offering terms and conditions in certain states. These are the states where we are expecting and anticipating the most benefit and want you guys to be able to challenge us and give us feedback on. So the Gulf, I mentioned Texas and Florida. The biggest extension that I would say is where we'll see the benefit is going to be on the East Coast or seaboard. So today we have name stormed exclusion that is basically up to 25 miles from the coast broadly. And so it's a very limiting term that we got a lot of feedback on. So as we think about where we have opportunity with all of you, it's in that area. But that's not isolated, or these enhancements are not isolated to that area. I mentioned severe convective storms as a consideration of this as well. So if you look up the spine of the United States, where severe convective storms have had increasing pressure on terms and conditions and then reducing capacities. Blitz within each of those states is either removing the wind hail exclusion and moving to a deductible base offering, or is improving the wind hail deductible offering by lowering lower percentages. So you'll see that in all of those states as we get submissions in from you guys. Angel, if you go to the next slide.
Yep.
We thought it would be good to make it real. So our lesser's risk product went through the enhancement and went into market a couple weeks ago. This is a real example out of Maryland of one that we both had an actual successful outcome with and was noted by the broker as being materially different for where we had been positioned before. So this is a location in Rockville, Maryland, that's 4 miles from the coast. On the left-hand side, you can see where it says before the enhancement. The wind hail coverage, we actually had a full wind hail exclusion. So didn't offer it at all. The name stormed exclusion did not apply. because we had the full wind hail storm exclusion on there. After the enhancement went through in this location, we offered a 5% wind hail deductible, did not consider the named storm exclusion. So it's just a traditional wind hail, and wrote what was a very challenging commercial building strip mall in that state. So we offered favorable terms and conditions, removed any types of exclusionary positions when it was able to come up with a real solution for somebody through a digital experience. The nice part about this one was, and noting that these are system supported, when our broker went through the experience, they actually didn't know. They just knew that they were getting a quote on something that they hadn't been able to get a quote on before. They didn't even know the experience went through because the quote went straight through. So 80% of our quotes go straight through without needing to be referred to an underwriter to review. This one fit that category. So it hit all of those check marks from a better experience and outcome. So good example, one representative example, and we have had great success over the initial 2 weeks. So Angel, it's been a lot of fun to kind of talk about the enhancements, but maybe we hop into a little bit of what the lesser's risk offering is more broadly.
Thank you, Landon, and you did a great job. And I don't know about you guys on this webinar, but I just want to, I'm so fired up. I'm so excited to be a part of Blitz. Like when I started, I've been here 2 years. To see how far we've come and where we're going is absolutely amazing, invigorating, and I just love it. So I just wanted to mention that. And now let's discuss what is lesser's risk. Maybe you might not know, so I will let you know. So lesser's risk, I call them landlord policies because they are based on tenants. So whether or not we can write something is based on who the tenant is, what the tenant does, occupancy, basically. As you guys know, in our amazing portal that I always brag about and give high accolades, in the top left, yes, left, we have an appetite checker where you can check that. So if you're wondering about a tenant, you can put the tenant in there, or you can always check with me or your business production underwriter or servicing if you kind of need to know if we write something. But lesser's risk, like I said, is based on I'm a landlord. Maybe I've got a strip mall and I've got tenants in it. So that's lesser's risk in a nutshell. So like I said before, we are 5 million TIV per location for the property, up to 30,000 total square feet for the GL. We do have optional coverages in our portal. A la carte, remember I just bragged and was going crazy about how everything's customizable when I said that you were the pilot on the plane. That's kind of what I meant. You're able to add coverages, delete coverages, and all of those things, and then see the premium update in complete real time instantly. Do not forget, a lesser's risk policy can be a single location. It could also be a strip mall. Just depends. It doesn't matter as long as they have a tenant is the big thing that you can understand if it's going to fit. Now, the next slide is going to give you more info on our appetite. You can see the ineligible occupancies, which I'm not going to make you guys watch me read, but I will say something. So under ineligible, you see that bars, taverns, microbreweries, nightclubs, that first little blurb under the orange. I've heard from a little bird, not a big bird. But maybe, potentially, yes, we are. Blitz is going to be writing some of that. Now, I don't have details, so don't go crazy in the Q&A for me on that. Don't go too crazy. But right now, today, if you go try to put lesser's risk in and it has habitational or 24-hour gas station, those things we're not writing right now, so that would not be a fit. And the first blurb, the bars and taverns. But I'm saying that, see, do you see what I mean? Now I'm just getting excited again because look at how we're growing. Look at how we're growing. Landon mentioned some of the other products that we have coming up, but that is a little secret that we're going to be getting into that stuff too. Now, our eligible occupancies here on the purple side, purple and orange. If you go to LinkedIn and like our page, make sure you look for that because don't forget that is also another Blitz out there. So just a little bit of what we're writing. We can write offices, exercise and health. It can be like Pilates, boxing, all those things fit. We write convenience stores, you guys. We just don't write gas stations so they can't have the gas. So keep that in mind. Offices, parking garages. We write restaurants too under this one as well. We can even write like a small church if it doesn't have daycare and if it doesn't have children staying overnight, we can write a church. It needs to be like a small church. Sometimes you see those churches in strip malls. No mega church, no Joel Osteen, no TD Jakes. If they're on TV, no. But small church, we can take. So that is just a little bit of background about our lesser's risk, which I think I'm probably going to do a webinar on that, but we'll stay tuned. But if you have questions about occupancy and you're confused and don't know if something's a fit, always check with us. Don't just count us out, you guys. Check with us and see if something's going to fit. And we can always let you know.
Angel, if I could, that's a great comment, Angel, on
Yeah.
that. Just a couple things. One is We love feedback and we love to learn from you guys. And so you saw in some of the upcoming products, there were updates coming for that were targeted at lesser's risk to broaden it based upon some of the ineligible occupancies. That comes from feedback from all of you. And also is we do have support every relationship with both a business production team member from Blitz and have our underwriting organization. And so where you have questions or where you think that we might not be as responsive as we need to be, please give us that feedback. It's not, don't just rely on the system because that's not how we think about our relationship with you. So I would encourage you to do that. The other thing I would mention is you see that we go from 30 to 90% vacant exposure. We do have our vacant product that steps in and kicks in over and above that. So we're trying to be thoughtful of the property exposure in its entirety of life cycle.
Great points, Landon. Thank you for that. Keep going. So this is just a visual representation to show you guys. You should know we're already winning with lesser's risk. So nowhere to go but up, right? This is just showing you where we're already having some success. Some of our core markets are in the darker purple. But this whole purple, these purple sections to all see a benefit from the cat update that we're making. We just want to let you know that since we're already successful, it's already a great, amazing product. It's priced right. And we are winning against other non-admitting E&S carriers that have been here a lot longer than Blitz. The big boys I always call them the big boys at the playground. We are winning accounts against them. So we're already having success with Blitz. So we just want to show you guys that we are making an effort to be a better carrier, better partner for you guys. So you can have more room to grow with Blitz, more room to grow your book, your non-admitted book, and your property. Because we know what are the two things? It's commercial auto, yikes, right? And property and a lot of the cat stuff. Yikes. It is hard out here to try to find a place and a home for them. And don't get happy. I'm not saying we're going to do commercial auto. Sorry. I was just throwing that out there as an example, but it can be hard. So look at Blitz trying to make life easier for you guys. I know we're great. I know. So it's time for my Dr. Phil moment. I like to do this because this is very important because it's a webinar. I can't talk to you guys. I don't know if you know me, if we met or anything. So I'd like to take this time to just say, when in doubt, just reach out. And why do you say this, Angel? What do you mean by that? I mean what the Landon alluded to. Be vocal. Tell us if you're having issues. Let's just say you have quoted and quoted and quoted with Blitz. You haven't bound anything. I don't think that's your fault. I don't. I think that could be a disconnect with Blitz. That could be something on our end we need to help with. But if you don't reach out and say you're having any issues, how does Angel know? Angel don't know. Pricing questions. Coming in high in the state, coming in low, debit, credit, who knows what you might need. Any pricing considerations, you have questions on pricing. Don't just count us out and close the quote and say, gosh, that Blitz is high. Don't do that, you guys. Reach out. When in doubt, reach out. It's very important. Decline reasons. Now, remember my whole rabbit spill and my whole spill about time is of the essence. You could literally be going through our portal really quickly. This is you, right? And you answer a question wrong. We're human. We are human. You don't know you answered it wrong until you get this decline that says, hey, this is declined because Angel does A, B, and C. And you say, she doesn't do any of that. What happened? That is a good point for you to reach out and say, hey, Angel, I think I answered the question wrong because I got declined and I need you to help me. It takes us 2 seconds, you guys. But if you just count us out and just close it and say, oh, they declined that, it could have been the best quote. It could have been the most perfect quote. And you missed out. When in doubt, reach out. Product appetite. We just went over cat. It's new, I know, and maybe you have a lot of questions about it and you don't know. Everything's going to be doing everything in the background, so you're not going to necessarily see anything material change in the portal, but maybe you have additional questions that we didn't go over today. Just reach out and let us know. Don't forget, underwriting referrals have a 24-hour turnaround, so if you need them sooner, let's say the X date was yesterday or today, and you need it quick, you can't wait the 24 hours, please reach out so we can go ahead and pull that and get it quoted for you. Portal questions and training, moi, yours truly. If you need refresher training, it is not just for all of our new onboards, which we appreciate all of our new agencies. We appreciate all of you guys, anybody that's been with us since the beginning. You can need a refresher. Maybe you haven't been in a portal for a while, or you get stuck in the portal. All those things. My email is super easy. It's on the screen. Reach out to me, and I can do a training session for you, for your group, or whomever. Train the dog, train the cow, train anybody. just have them reach out to me and get on my calendar. Just remember, no matter where you are with Blitz, if you're killing it, you're having success, you love Blitz, that's great. We love you back. Or if you're struggling, you kind of don't know why you're not having success with Blitz. Maybe you don't have a lot of non-admitted E&S on your desk, but use Blitz to grow that book. If you don't have a lot of non-admitted and you normally kind of just don't even write it because it's such a headache, utilize the speed, utilize the portal, all of our products, us growing, everything that we're offering, all of our service, our innovation, the execution of the innovation, execution. Use that to leverage to grow your book with Blitz. And we're here to help you with that. We want you to have success. We don't want you to just check in a carrier off a box. We don't want that. We want you to actually be able to bind and win with Blitz. That's why we have these webinars, is so we can get to know each other and get to know you guys and see where we can help.